Jan. So, dear President Barroso, Commissioner Geoghegan-Quinn, Minister President Rutte, Excellencies, dear winners of this year's European Women Innovators Prize, ladies and gentlemen, it's a great honor for me to address you in this year's award session, and it's a pleasure to be back after receiving the prize myself. The reason I stood here a bit more than 2 years ago is Cellzome, a biotechnology company I had the privilege to co-found. Even though each company has its very own individual story, its exceptional circumstances, and its good and its bad luck, some of the elements in building Cellzome into a sustainable high-tech business might be true for other companies as well. So let me share a bit of the Cellzome story. We started the company as a spin-out of the European Molecular Biology Laboratories in Heidelberg, Germany in 2000. Initially funded by venture capital, we developed our technology platform and used it for drug discovery efforts and also for large collaboration with pharma companies. In 2012, one of them, GlaxoSmithKline, acquired Cellzome after 4 successful years of collaboration. We started the company foundation in the late 90s at completely crazy times. It was the height of the technology bubble. These were the times when the race around sequencing the human genome inspired the fantasy of venture capital investors. The hope was that by knowing the human genome, we would know what causes disease and find easy cures to it. At the time, venture capital for biotech was easy to be had. And in Germany alone, around 400 biotech companies were founded in just a few years. And Cellzome was one of them. Rather than betting on the genome, we focused on the proteome and argued that understanding how drugs act on the entirety of proteins make for better and safer drugs. With 9/11 and the burst of the technology bubble, many of the life science companies of the 2000 vintage disappeared as quickly as they were founded. So why did Cellzome survive in years of hostile markets? Reason number 1 was our pedigree. Our mother institute, the EMBL, is the leading molecular biology institute in Europe and one of the top 5 worldwide. We had a strong scientific basis right from the outset and a lot of goodwill from the institute to make Cellzome work. We nourished this scientific excellence throughout the years and regularly published it in high-impact journals. Reason number 2 was changing the management team as the company development demanded it. The CEO in charge of raising the initial capital was not the same CEO in charge of building a drug discovery capability. And that was not the same CEO commercializing the science rigorously. And finally, that was not the same one integrating a leading tech platform into big pharma. Reason number 3 is probably the most important one, albeit of course not independent from the former 2. It is the Cellzome community and culture. We have a great diverse team, a diversity of academic backgrounds and nationalities. The 60 people working at Cellzome come from 12 different nations. And we have about the same number of women and men, also in leadership positions. This diversity makes for a great variety in personalities and skills and provides a creative, challenging and fun atmosphere where good science can flourish. Plus, we like to collaborate internationally and across boundaries. And the quality of our collaboration with GSK actually led in the end to the takeover. Today, in less favorable market conditions than the late 90s, it is more important to provide the right framework for ecosystems of excellent academic science, startups and open innovation with established industry to flourish. And it goes beyond simply building a technology park. It needs to attract the best academic scientists by competitive funding. It needs to attract private investment into high-tech and consequently high-risk startups by providing tax incentives. And it needs encouragement for technology and people transfer between the academic and the industry worlds. As President Barroso just pointed out, Horizon 2020 is key to provide such a framework. Successful ecosystems in hubs like Boston or in an earlier stage here next door in London will also make it easier for women scientists to live up to their career potential, especially for dual careers, where more often than not the male career determines the location for raising the family. in locations where both partners find attractive positions and good childcare facilities, we might get to see more women scientists in leading positions in academia, or in fact as entrepreneurs. As the winners of today will demonstrate quite convincingly, there are women here and now who step out and found successful companies, and this prize is important to highlight and celebrate them, to build role models for women entrepreneurs of the future. So congratulations to the winners of this year, and thank you for your attention.
Gitte, come to me. Gitte, I'm just personally very curious. I'm also a professional woman. And I am sure we have many aspiring female entrepreneurs in the audience, at least I hope we do. Is there any little trick you can tell them, anything that gave you competitive advantage? How do you combine sort of being a top scientist with also being an entrepreneur?
I think... Put your foot down. No, the first thing is that you have to do what you love to do. You have to have a passion for what you're doing. And I was fortunate enough to really learn the business side of things, the entrepreneurship, by working with very experienced and very good people in that area. So the second key thing is not only do what you love to do, but also surround yourself with people who you can learn from and who complement your skill sets.
And can I just ask a follow-up question? How did you find these people and when did you find them? At the very beginning of starting your company, or you started and then said, well, I need some business expertise here, some marketing, some back office. How did that work?
It really started already at the beginning, where we had our first CEO, so we actually weren't the first CEOs as founders, but we actually were fortunate enough to have the first one as a biotech entrepreneur from the States, of whom we learned an awful lot. And then we hired in also business development expertise, etc. So it was really a mix of both things.
That's very interesting. Last question, if I remember correctly from the last time, you're a mother of two, three? Three. How do you do it? And that's personal advice for me too, because I'm barely surviving here with two little boys. Go ahead.
I have a husband.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Gitte Neubauer, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Gitte. That was the perfect question. The perfect answer, I'm sorry. And also, by the way, a good question. So,